steel to be painted can come in various shapes and forms. So we've got a few pieces here. We've got some angle iron, a radiator, and a piece of painted steel where the coatings have failed, exposing the steel underneath, which has rusted. The preparation for the bare areas will be the same. The amount of rust can be quantified under international standards. Basically, it starts with very fine rusting, through to heavier rusting with a little bit of pitting, through to something that's got very heavy rust with a bit of pitting and possibly even perforation. So it's important to mention that should the item you're painting be a structural component of something else, it's always worth getting that checked by a structural engineer just to make sure that safety is not compromised. So when we're going to prepare our steel for painting, the first thing we need to do is to clean and degrease a surface using a proprietary degreaser. This one is from Bradite, it's called TD39. We dilute it with water, scrub it into the surface and rinse it away. Make sure you remove all the residues because they can be slightly soapy and could compromise the adhesion of your paint. Other brands are available. As long as you use a good quality one, shouldn't be any issues. Once our surface is clean, free of any oil, grease, dirt, then we need to think about preparing the surface to remove the existing rust that is already there. So how do we remove the rust? Well, if we're not abrasive blast cleaning, then we're back to hand and power tool preparation. And this is classified under standards as ST2 and ST3. Today we're going to work to ST2, which basically means using hand or power tools such as disc grinders, power wire brushes, hand wire brushes, scrapers to remove all the loose material. So that includes coatings and rust. When we've finished with the wire brush or whatever method we're using, we want a distinct metallic sheen to the surface. So we can compare that with the side that's not prepared. We can see we've still got the rust, slight pitting there, and now we've got our metallic sheen underneath. Once we get there, we can start thinking about our coatings to apply. So there are a range of coatings available, depending on the environment that your steel is in. Environments are also graded under international standards, from very light, which would be inside a perhaps heated building, to very heavy or extreme, which would be offshore and marine, something like an oil rig in the middle of the sea. There are a range of coatings to cope with all of those instances, starting from your basic direct metal products, which will tolerate a very small amount of rust being left on the surface, through to heavier coatings for, the offshore marine industry. If the environment is slightly more aggressive, or you want to increase your protection, then most manufacturers will also produce a rust inhibiting primer, which can be applied first before the top coat is put over the top. There are also specialist primers, such as the Rust-Oleum 769. This is their damp-proof primer. So if you're working in an area that maybe there's a bit of condensation forming, a slightly colder area, this will tolerate a very small amount of moisture on the surface, which normally you wouldn't be able to paint, but with this product, you can use it. If you're up against a tight time schedule, then there's the 569 Speedy Recoatable Primer from Rust-Oleum. These sorts of products will go off in half an hour to an hour and allow you to get your top coat on the same day. We also said we've got some heavy duty coatings, such as the Noxide. Comes in a sprayable and a brush and roller version. Very good rust inhibiting properties. It's also elastomeric, so it will move with the structure, the coatings won't crack. And also it's a good waterproofer. So if you have a steel corrugated roof, this product will go on. It will not only protect the steel from further corrosion, but it will also help to waterproof the surface. So as we've said, there are lots of products out there to suit the particular environment, the job that you're doing. They come in lots of finishes, from matte through to satin and gloss, and there are also a good range of colours. So British Standard and RAL in most of the ranges, and some others as well. If you have any further questions or you want to discuss your project in a bit more detail, then please give us a call.